Do you remember when Joan Smalls, she was shooting in front of Karl Lagerfeld, and she was like on a boat, and she literally got on top of like one of the ladders for the boat, and she's like, "Can I drop down?" It was like the BTS moment. Just drop your arm. And she was like, "I'm gonna drop my whole body." It was amazing. And I think about that all the time. Like before a runway shoot, I'm like, she said she was gonna do this, so you might as well.
I love it. Standing at a statuesque 5'11", model Somalia Knight was determined to become a model. Inspired by the hit show America's Next Top Model, Somalia's determination grew more than ever. She started a fashion club in high school to foster a community of fashion enthusiasts and raise funding to support various philanthropic efforts like combating eating disorders. Determined to overcome the exhaustion of being bullied, Somalia graduated early at the top of her class. She would later meet an agent who would help her launch her career. With her unique look and newfound confidence, Somalia shaved her head, showing off her prominent ears, which would further catapult her career into working with one of the top modeling agencies in the world. She's walked for designers like Calvin Klein and LaQuan Smith and appeared in magazines like ID and NYLON. We had a chat about her modeling journey, her experience working with Solange, and the power of breaking out of the box. Welcome to A Fashion Moment. I am thrilled to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Fabulous. I know that Fashion Week is around the corner, so you must be like insane right now.
Absolutely insane. Trying to get the body right, trying to get the mental right, making sure that clothes are right. It's absolutely, it's stressful, but I've been doing it for so long. I don't know why it's stressing me out at this moment, to be honest.
I love it. Like, what is your process like for that? Like, do you have like a specific like diet? Like, are you like running around like for miles every day? Like, what is your process?
Oh, so my process, well, coming from quarantine has been more difficult than recent years because literally I was eating everything. You know, I was just having a great time with food. I was like, oh, just exploring food was absolutely amazing this last year. But definitely a big salad for lunch, a very small breakfast and dinner, and then wake up food all over again. And it's stressful. It's actually,
I don't know how you do it. Like, I just, I'm trying to like, diet, lose these quarantine pounds. And it's a lot harder than I expected.
It is a lot harder because we've gotten so used to literally just enjoying. I feel like, and food is also one of those comfort things where it was just like, oh, hey, you're here to help. Thanks. I can't go outside, but you are going to be constant.
Yes. Pandemics are stressful. Like we forget. We're just like, oh yeah, like it was a pandemic, quarantine. It's like, no, that's like a traumatic event. So turning to food like makes sense.
And I think I did it because even my mom was like, she's from Africa, but I was born in Florida. So she was just like, you need to go every time I go home, you need to put some weight on your bones. Like,
oh Lord, that's how Black people get down.
They really do. It's like, but she was so happy. I was like, yeah, I went to the grocery store. I'm making me some greens. I found me some turkey necks. And she was like, you found turkey necks?
I love it. What y'all know about turkey necks? That's like hardcore. That's hardcore. But you mentioned your mom. And, we always love to ask our guests, like, let's start from the beginning. Like, where are you from? And like, where did you grow up?
Okay. So I'm born and raised in Riviera Beach, Florida. It's a small little area in Palm Beach, and it's kind of it's not the cutest, but but my mom is from Somalia and my father is from Germany. And they met because she was a flight attendant. She was like really one of the first flight attendants from Eastern Airlines, which is now closed now. But yeah, that is basically my background. Woo.
Amazing. And, in one of your previous interviews, you actually mentioned that you looked up to your great grandmother. Like, what was she like? What did you love so much about her?
Oh, geez. She was absolutely amazing. She was, she cared a little more than what a lot of people did. And it was just like an inspiration. Like, and she didn't only care for me, she cared for everybody in the family. Like, so, well, I kind of
the matriarch.
Yeah, she was absolutely amazing. I was I'm very proud at the moment to have gotten to know her and be raised by her and everything. So,
yeah. Was she the grandmother on your mom's side or your dad's side?
On my mom's side.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Was she in the States or was she abroad?
She was in the States. She came over very young and, well, not very young, but relatively young. And the first place she moved to was Cuthbert, Georgia. I'm like, wow. What? How did you find this little small Huckleberry?
I mean, it seems to be the case for a lot of, immigrants who come here. Like some of the smaller towns are like, that's where a lot of folks go. Yeah. I love it. And so like, just to confirm, are you 5'11"?
I am a 5'11" and a half. We can't forget.
Oh my goodness. On that note, high school. Were you 5'11" in high school?
I was sadly.
Oh my Lord. Wow.
One of the tallest girls. Well, I think I was the tallest, like for graduation. I was like the second or third. Like they was lining us up and they're like,
oh my goodness. Always taking pictures in the back, right? They're like, you can stand in the back, you're the tallest.
Yeah.
But you were like proactive. You were like, you know what? I'm tall. I'm doing this. I'm starting a fashion club.
Yeah, it was because I went from I went to a very just like sports oriented high school. Like most of the football players go to NFL. Most of the basketball players go to the NBA. Like it was just very just sports. And I was like, well, I don't fit in nowhere because I don't like to run.
Did you cheer? Were you a cheerleader?
Oh no! Sadly,
you're like no.
Our cheering squad only had one person of color, just one.
Wow. Yep, I was that person of color at my school, so definitely no. And Bring It On was like super like popular at the time. So like at certain games, they'd be like, Kirsten, come on, say it, like the other team, like when you like greet the other teams. And I would be like, bring it. They're like, yay! I was just like, I cannot. It was insane. But back to you with the fashion club. Like, where did your love for fashion come from? Was it something that was just always there? And you were like, I want to bring the students together with this. Like, what was your vision?
Oh, it's going to sound, because now I was a part of Clubhouse, and I said it all the time, but literally, honestly, it was America's Next Top Model that really got me into.
Yes, you want to be on top. I love it.
It was literally so America's Next Top Model, and then I was walking into like in middle school. One of a friend of mine who I think all the time. She walks up, she's like, I think you could be on America's Next Top Model. And that's probably in like 6th grade, 7th grade, and middle school for me was absolutely the worst. So I'm like, oh, thank you so much. But then I went to high school, very different scenery. And I was like, I'm gonna have to, because I was at the point where I was like, I need to do something to fulfill my life as well as getting good grades. And I literally hit up so many teachers, and it wasn't going as well as planned at first. I got one teacher to be like, all right, girl, if this is the route you want to take, go ahead.
Wow. That's amazing. On the America's Next Top Model note, is there do you have a favorite season or episode or like a model that you were just like, yes?
Oh, my beauty is so weird right now, but it was always Eva for me.
Yes. Same here. Like Eva brought it.
She literally did. And on top of that, she was the shortest one on that cast and still won.
Wild. Eva is still winning. We love you, Eva. She's so great. She's so great. But while the fashion club, you start the fashion club and you actually use the club to raise money, like over $15,000. Like,
yeah, we
how? Whoa, what? What were you raising money for? Like, what were some of the causes?
So we raised money for two charitable organizations or two nonprofits. It was one was for eating disorders, and the other one was to help kids getting adopted.
Wow.
So we literally we charged like $5-8 for tickets for entries, and we would do like these little cute let's sell things for like during Valentine's Day,
oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, we were trying the hardest, but within 3 years, $15,000, that's cute.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, there's so many high schoolers who are just doing their thing, just trying to navigate the popularity, ecosystem. So to be able to sort of step outside of yourself and say, hey, and you were bullied in school, to step out of that and say, hey, I want to help someone else. That's major. And why eating disorders in particular?
It wasn't my first choice. A couple people in the group, they wanted to do something else because they weren't my skin color. They were that. So they kind of felt closely to that, but I felt close to the other organizations. So.
It was pre-Black Lives Matter, right? Yeah. I know. Hey, you know what? If it helps someone, it helps someone. We got to do what we can. But, going back to that, being one of the only, students of color, being this 5'11", fabulous, girl strutting the halls, just living in the moment and who you are. What got you through that period? What was it?
To be honest, I cannot give you, I don't know. It might sound very sad, but I literally didn't start feeling who I am now until I got to college. But
same here.
I really don't know. I don't know what, because I literally woke up every morning sad, but then I don't know. I still put on some long socks and some heels and was like, this is who I'm going to be today. And I guess it was kind of a mask, to be honest.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because it's not. Also, I mean, my mom did a really good job every morning. You need to go to school, making sure that you are beautiful and you don't listen to nobody else. Like that Black mom cussed out every morning.
Yep. A little affirmation. It's like Black Mama affirmation. Yeah. Somebody needs to record that, because Black Mama affirmations are everything.
They are. I mean, I don't know.
Wow. And you, I mean, you were getting the grades. Like you were like top of the class. You graduated early. Like, how did that happen?
I was trying to get bullied. So I was like, the closest.
You're like, I got to get out quickly.
I got to get out quickly. Like it was, to me, it was like, this is not going to happen to me anymore. So I'm just going to leave. And I decided that at literally the last minute of 10th grade, because it was like it wasn't a jump situation. It was jump. I was jumped. And,
oh my goodness.
I know. It was the whole thing. And I was
just jealous. Kids are just so mean these days. It's just like, oh my goodness.
It really was.
So mean.
But yeah, so I decided that, and I decided to do my 11th grade and 12th grade year at the same time. So I was doing 1 year online and 1 year in school, and still planning all of the fashion, the last fashion show that I was going to plan at the school, and doing a lot of stuff. But I mean, it worked out.
It worked. I mean, clearly. I mean, and like right after graduation, you went to FAMU, Florida A&M University, for a hot minute.
I went to FAM.
What was that like? I mean, that's like, HBCU, like you're stepping out, the hair is flowing, you're 5'11". Like, did you feel a completely like different shift in sort of how people perceived you?
It was like in the maybe third to the first month I was there, because I was literally, because I decided to turn in my application late. I did so much stuff so late, like acceptance week came around, and I was just like, oh, I don't have a dorm yet. And everybody's like, what? And so I ended up living in the basement.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Bam.
I know, it was a cool thing.
You can't have students in the basement.
Well, the dorm isn't there anymore. It's actually so much better now. It was a great experience. I literally lived in the basement with 4 other women, and one she's also a Pisces. I still speak to her now. Her little sister actually just moved up here as well, but she literally, it was so hot on those 7 hills, 7 of the highest hills in Florida. I had my hair out. I dyed it orange for some reason. I thought it was an orange, but it was like black girl orange. But
why not?
Why not? Let's show some true colors. I bleed orange and green.
Here we go. I hear the rattlers now. The rattlers. I hear them.
But
I love it.
I was like, girl, I'm so hot. She was like, why don't you take all that hair up out of your face? And I was like, because I don't want nobody to judge me. Like, I got big ears and people gonna sit here and bully me. She turned around so fast and was like, don't nobody care about how you look. Like, don't nobody care about your ears. So if you don't put your hair up, you're gonna look stupid walking around here with your hair all up in your face while you sweating.
Wow. So you were hello. I'm so sorry. I think you're cutting out. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Okay. We're back. Sorry, it was cutting out. I was like, no. But were you ashamed of your ears? I mean, your ears are like your signature look.
I was ashamed. I was ashamed, and I also just was so tired of people just pointing at my ears and laughing, like I was a circus animal or something,
Yeah. Do you think that experience sort of built like a tougher skin for you to face the modeling industry, which is insane?
Oh yeah, it literally did. I'm not gonna lie. New York has shown me a whole different side of bullying, though.
New York. I mean, it's like straight no chaser. Like people will just give it to you the way they feel it. So you're just like, okay.
Like, geez, I really honestly didn't know that I need to change X amount of things about myself. But okay, thank you for the note. Noted. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. But you know what's crazy is that it's like just being you is like special. Like there's no other. So it's like you either have the privilege of working with me or you don't. But it's a privilege, because there's only one you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. So if they miss out, they miss out. That's what I say.
I'm hearing you. Thankfully, I have the luxury of now just being like, just not being that insecure little girl anymore. And now I'm a woman, full grown woman, and I'm just like, all right, well, y'all book at me, period. And let's.
I love it. Well, how did you, what was your big break? I'm sure along your discovery and just the route of your career, I know that one of the previous interviews, there was a moment where you were just like, is this going to even work out for me? Because you were just getting rejection after rejection and you were looking signing up for models.com, whatever you could find. So what was your big break? Where you were like, yes, I'm finally in.
It was literally when I shaved my hair.
No way.
I went through a whole America's Next Top Model moment.
Oh my God, what happened?
I was signed. Well, I was with a mother agent, and I was his very first girl, and so he was an amazing photographer, and he knew what he was doing, but he didn't kind of know. So we every single year from before, it was like I met him in 2010, and we literally went from agency to agency year after year. Well, no, it was like year and half year, and then the beginning of the year. So that happens for years. With the same haircut, combs in my hair. Finally, he thought that it was a good idea because Yesenia, I can't remember the last, but Yesenia came through and was like, and she had her hair cut the same way, and he was like, maybe you should cut your hair. And I was like, what? Excuse me, if I cut my hair, everybody gonna see my ears. I'm not about to sit here and cut my hair so you can just see my ears, because I still still hiding my ears with my hair. But I wanted to. I was wearing ponytails and this and that and the third, but it was I don't know. I cried every second that man was taking hair off of my hair.
Oh my God. Did you just see it falling to the side and on the floor? Oh,
it was so sad. I had a humongous support system now. I had three best friends standing right there.
Holding your hand, girl.
And rubbing my back. It's okay. Literally from the barber's chair, I went to Jersey to get my digital shot, and then literally the next day, I had 3 different agencies call. Stop
it!
Yes.
Are you serious? That is crazy.
Literally, the whole thing. It seems like a whole little roller coaster.
Wow. So did you sign with an agency at that time? You were like, oh, I actually get an opportunity to pick.
Yeah. I signed. I signed with one of the biggest agencies.
Amazing. And then you were just off to the races, hitting runways, magazine spreads. Who were some of the designers that you walked for?
Oh, I was looking way before then. I was looking way before then.
You know what? This is the time we're about to name drop, y'all. Okay, let's just do it off the top. Who are some of the folks you've walked for throughout your career? Let's just give them a few. Let's flex a little bit. Go ahead.
I was the first unsigned model to walk for Calvin Klein.
Uh-oh, boom. Check.
That's my very
one.
first show.
Check.
I did LaQuan, maybe
Love
3
LaQuan.
seasons.
Yes. Oh.
And then, I was doing other things.
It was like ID. You did ID magazine. Was it ID or NYLON?
I did NYLON 3 times.
Or both. I'm like,
and then I worked with them 3 other times, and I did get signed. I was like,
oh Lord. Oh, you gotta love fashion people. Were there any models that you grew up looking up to?
Oh yes, Somalia Knight was a big one. Joan Smalls was also a big one, of course.
Yes, Joan. Yes.
Joan, actually, I saw her during Fashion Week one time. And I was like, oh my God, it's Joan Smalls. She wasn't walking the same show I was. She's probably in a whole bigger show. But I was like, I am going to ask her for coffee and get some tips. So I asked her for coffee, and she was like, I'm kind of busy, but yeah. Let's grab the coffee. So I was like, period, poo.
Shut the front door. Did you go?
Yeah, I did. And she went too.
Oh my God. Is her skin perfect? My God.
She was absolutely amazing. And she has such a beautiful soul too. She was sitting there telling me like all the good things, like make sure that you put the clothes back on the hanger. When you leave the show or a shoot, and just make sure that you respect everybody equally. I was like, girl, I already knew that, but thank you.
You're like, thank you. That is amazing. You know, speaking of tips, like for those who want to get into modeling, what would your advice be as a veteran right now in the game? I know there's so much, but like what would be like the top, like one of the top things to keep in mind?
Make sure that one is taking care of themselves. Skincare is always amazing. And mentally.
Do you have a recommendation for that? I mean, I see Naomi, she never ages, and I think she like spreads La Mer like everywhere. But is there a particular like routine or brands that you like to use like for your own skin?
I use The Ordinary. I do a couple acid pills, maybe twice a month. And chlorophyll has been a really good job. And take your vitamins. I have some plants in your room, in your space.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that pulls out the pollution in the air.
Yes.
I would assume.
It's absolutely amazing.
Huh. Oh my God. It literally just connected for me. Like that is like, I never thought about that in terms of like skincare, having plants in your space, in your home, and how that's better for your well, thank you. That was a tip for me. I hope you guys love that one too. I'm like writing that one down. So in one of the previous interviews, you mentioned, and you mentioned it earlier, just about like the hair and sort of like, having security blankets to sort of cover up like insecurities. For those who want to enter this industry and have certain insecurities, do you have any advice for them on how to sort of get over that? Like, do you meditate? Do you journal? Do you pray? Like, what are some of the things that people can do to get over the insecurities? And obviously in fashion, it's very difficult because it's such a visual industry, and you're often judged regardless of whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera. Yeah. People judge you based off of the way you look, like, but what advice would you give them for those who are feeling a little insecure right now?
Oh, I don't know. Uh, maybe it would be absolutely amazing just to take yourself out of the box that you put yourself in.
Ooh, I like it. Please expound on that. That's good. That's good.
I mean, we've all put ourselves in boxes from bullying or, being told that you're not the prettiest or
the smartest,
ugly. And it's just like, okay, that's cool. But take that box and use it as your tough skin and just go ahead and do the things that you want to do in life, because it's always literally the last key on the keychain that will open that door. Just go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for that, gem. My goodness. I literally, I think I actually did let out a scream when I saw you in Solange's short film Passage. I screamed, and my kids were looking at me like, Mom, what is wrong with you? And I was like, oh my God, she's just there. How did you end up in that film?
That literally, so I was supposed to be, Solange has been reaching out to me for the last couple years.
Wow.
Yeah, to me, it was kind of surreal, but at the very first time that she reached out to me, my dad had just passed, and I was
gone. Oh man.
Yeah, so it was too much, and I respectively told her at this very moment, I can't do it. The next time she reached out, I was trying to get my papers to go to South Africa, and it was just a lot. It was just way too much, and I was still doing different things, but I kind of was depressed because of my dad still. And
yeah, absolutely.
Recently because I was like, I'm burning the bridge with Mrs.
Okay. Shoot. But again, real life is real and things happen. So it's, these are things you can't really control. But I can only imagine. You're like, I told Solange no, twice. What?
Twice. And I was just like, you know what? She's never going to want to work with me. And I was
right
on that one because though this last time my sister was graduating from Florida State and with her master's. So I was in Florida and I was like, oh, I'm in Florida. And she was like, well, when's your ticket home? And I was like, it's going to be tomorrow. She's like, that's perfect. I will be here and we can do the fitting as soon as you get to New York. So literally I fly all the way back to New York, get in the Uber. I had to take a shower and change my clothes because I was like, I'm going to meet Solange.
Yeah, you can't be funkified going to meet Solange. You got to be fresh.
Exactly. I forgot to wash my hair though. That's the only thing. My hair was all crazy.
That's all good. It's all good.
I walked in and she was the very first person that I saw, and she was like, "Hey, I'm so happy to meet you finally." And I was like,
"What?
Hey, hi, I'm nervous." She was like,
amazing.
It's okay.
Oh my, did she call you? She called you personally? It wasn't an assistant?
No, she doesn't have an assistant. She does everything on her own.
We love Solange.
Right.
She's such an artist. I love it.
She really is. She literally was doing everything on her own, from styling to this and that and the third. She had a stylist and she was like, no, I want to.
Yeah. I know Shiona and some of the other girls work with her. Yeah. She's great. Wow. Amazing. So you get there. And what did they describe the project Like, how do they describe the project to you? Because it is very, it's such an artistic expression. I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, what is the passage and what was your role in it?
It was a 3-day job and I was only able to do 2. So basically, from the fitting day, it was, it screamed very artistic, but very still cranes in the sky. So I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that. I danced here and there for different other projects. So it's doable. But the shoot day, they was like, all right, just go ahead and do whatever. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Like just dance? Like they were just like, do your thing. And you're like, okay, I'm going to freestyle.
Yes, it was a whole freestyle. And I was like, well, I don't know how much I can give y'all, but I'm going to do my best because Solange is sitting right there and I ain't going to.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Interpretive dance.
That's exactly what they just was like, just go ahead and move. And I'm like, I can't move in this. And she's like, okay, we just walk and then do whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I will listen to you, Miss Mother.
Okay, like let me tap deep within my soul, like to the ancestors. Like let me pull from Somalia. Let's do it. That's amazing. Like it was so powerful. It was really powerful. You would have never known that you like didn't know what to do.
I know.
It's like, oh my God, they must have choreographed this for like days and weeks, you know? Beyonce in the background talking about 1, 2, or even Blue Ivy, you know, helping Auntie Solange out. I was like, oh, they're working hard.
And then I was on lunch and then walked back in and I saw Dion work and I was like, wait, hold on. That's Dion work. And I was walking back and I was like, all right, Solange, so is that Dion work? She said, yeah, she's there. She's supposed to really go say hi. I'm like, I'm scared.
Oh my goodness. I love it. So powerful. So many powerful Black women. I love it.
It was something. It was amazing.
I'm going to put a link to it in the notes, y'all, because you need to see it. It's so, I felt like it was sort of like, I felt like the film itself could be on loop and like I think it was on loop in a museum, right?
Yeah.
Was it in a museum? Yeah, it's very like curatorial in that way, like very sophisticated. But I'll put a link in the show notes so you guys can see it. But you going back to you know, your life and your perspective, like you are truly an activist and you're very outspoken. You got to follow her on Clubhouse. She's dope. You're very outspoken about a lot of issues. So, you know, like right now, what are some of the areas that you are currently focused on in terms of like activism?
Oh, geez.
I know there's so much work to be done in this world, I tell you.
Which is, it's not sad, but when I tell other people that I do this, they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, why? I'm literally holding the White House accountable.
Yeah.
I write them literally letters every single day. And I drop it off in at the post office because the things that are going on, that have happened, they've been happening for beyond the amount of years that I've been living. And I really can't stand that because my entire family is Black. I don't know my white side of the family. So I was surrounded by Black people. And it really hurts me to know that we are just sitting out here. And I don't call myself biracial, and you can mute this out, but it's just
hey, do your thing. It's all good. You know, people have the power to identify the way they want to identify. So this is a fashion moment, is an open space. where you can do that. So totally fine.
Period. I am. So I identify just as being just a Black person because I wasn't raised with anything other. My mom, all my cousins, like everybody, my uncles, I was literally raised in a Black family, period.
Yeah.
And I just it would really probably take me to a whole nother level if I got that call saying that one of my family members or another even Black person that I don't even know was shot and killed or strangled to death by a police officer, somebody who's supposed to sworn to protect and serve their community. So it really hits home when you hear stuff like that. Or, I mean, there's just recent cases where these police officers don't even have, like, there's not
probable cause.
Yeah.
No probable cause.
No probable cause, no proper training. It really sets in deep anger with me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make sure there's not too many protests going on. There's actually no protests going on in New York, but I was on the front line protesting with the situation with Mr. George Floyd.
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor. Like, it's just, it just hits home too much. Like that. I think I can't remember where. Yes. Kicked that whole woman in her face while she was on the ground. Like, excuse me?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Like, that makes no sense. I mean, we'd also have to work on different things in our community as well, but there's no reason for, I mean, everybody needs to work on different things in their communities, but
basic humanity,
literally,
and basic, human rights and civil liberties that, we value here in the United States and should be applied to all citizens, not just a portion.
Right.
So I am right there with you. I've had my protesting shoes on. I think I probably really started when Mike Brown, passed away. And that was just, I mean, that day I was like, what? You're just leaving the body in the middle of the street? Like, I was like, And I literally, I was making a poster in my office and they were like, hey, Kirsten, where are you? I'm like, I'm going out. I'm going to the streets because this has got to stop. It's got to stop. So
it really does.
So much to do. So you know what? It's like, if you can fight with the pen and the word, legislation is very important. Holding local authorities accountable, participating in local elections is very important.
Yeah.
So not forgetting that.
Yeah.
So it's just so essential to really creating change that will be sustainable and not just be, like a moment.
Yeah.
We want this to be a movement that translates into permanent legislation.
Exactly. Because people literally, and then also like getting people out to vote. I think that the last presidential election, there is more Black people that voted more than any other election. And we have to thank Stacey Abrams for that one.
Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a runway for, remember, I think they used to do like the runway for change. Like, they need to bring that back. Like, come on, fashion. I know Anna, she's been dipping her toe back into it, but let's go. Let's use this fashion thing to help, make an impact. But I just love how you're so vocal about it. And, thank you for all that you do. And, you inspire us to, continue the work. And for those who, may have been thinking about it, write a letter, make a phone call. Those things really add up and
it does.
can help change things.
It really
You know, when your parents are like, I'm writing a letter. It's like, no, that actually works. It actually works.
I took a piece from the opposite side. I was like, since y'all want to write a letter, I'm going to write several.
There is power. There is power in a letter, not an email. I mean, emails are cool, but like those letters, woo! It's like there's just something official about it.
They hit different, especially in 2021 when everything is digital. No, ma'am, you're about to receive a letter every day.
In my world, everyone gets a letter. I'm like, oh, this customer service was terrible. I'm like, I'm about to write a narrative. Like it's like an essay. And, you know, you got to write. I mean, reading and writing, man, like, especially for Black people, so many people fought for us to have that ability. You know, exactly. I'm just like, let me get off my soapbox. So let me get back to a fashion moment because I could go on all day about that. But I want to ask you, what would you say has been the key to your continued success?
Confidence and God. I think God gave me a dream, and because even when my mom called, she's like, "Are you good? Like, are you sure that this is the path you want to take?" And I'm just like, God gave me a dream, and I think He gave it to me for a reason, honey.
Wow.
So, I think that is basically exactly what fuels my fire, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like you're fulfilling your destiny. You are fulfilling your purpose. And even though it hasn't been easy, you're doing what you were put here to do.
Yeah. I think, exactly. I feel like, because I know it sounds so superficial sometimes when I said, like, God gave me this dream child, but I've literally taken my career and put it into so many different uses. I go to schools and talk to kids that have been being bullied. I text people all the time about, all right, you being bullied? Okay, cool beans. my DMs are filled with people, women and men, or gender doesn't exist anymore. I have to keep reminding myself, but just people telling me that it was a hard day. Something, can you just give me a little boost or pick me up? So, I mean, I think God knew what He was doing.
You're like, Mama, I had a dream. Like it's a dream. It's a God dream.
It's a God dream.
As, you know, as Brother Kanye would say. but you know, I also have to just ask, like, what do you think are some of is one of the like biggest misconceptions that people have about the modeling industry as a whole?
Oh my God, that models are dumb and stupid, and they just literally just to walk on the runway, or they just pose for a camera. Child, it is so much harder than that.
Yeah. And there are there are a lot of smart models out there, like top of their class, like you, like Veronica Webb, when we had her on the show. I mean, just talking to her during the show and like post interview, she's like one of the smartest people I've ever met. And like, that includes like the people that I've met in DC with all these think tanks on Capitol Hill and all these people who are, you know, like correspondents or authors. Like, she is brilliant. So that makes complete sense.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I'm not a cookie cutter beauty in anywhere that I go, but you know, I'm a model. It pays my bills, but I'm also smart as hell. So do not.
That's right. That's right. Own it. So what, you know, I have to ask, because I've just been so inspired by this conversation. I'm so glad that we finally had a chance to talk one-on-one. Like, I feel so blessed and honored right now. But what legacy do you hope to leave behind with your current work?
Ooh, that's hopefully I can. What I want to leave behind is that regardless of the no's and regardless of everything that you've gone through, you can probably still achieve your goals. That's should be on my tombstone. If we still have tombstones when we die, but right.
I love it. I love it. So, this is a fashion moment, and we ask all of our guests, what is one of your favorite fashion moments of all time? It can be personal, like, something you experienced growing up. It could be professional. It could be something that you witnessed, just something that, like, a moment that was just truly magical. And you're like, this is fashion. And I love it.
Oh, okay. So do you remember when the fangirl's about to come out, but do you remember when Joan Smalls did that one? She was shooting in front of Karl Lagerfeld's. Yeah. Yes. And she was like on a boat, and she literally got on top of like one of the ladders for the boat, and she's like, "Can I drop down?" It was like the BTS moments, and they're like, "Just drop your arm," and she was like, "I'm gonna drop my whole body." It was amazing. I literally, and I think about that all the time. Like before a runway shoot, I'm like, she said she was gonna do this, so you might as well.
I love it. Go ahead, Joan. Go ahead.
Oh, she was so amazing. I'm going to find that thing and send it to you because it was.
Can you? I'm going to put in the show notes.
It was literally so amazing. I'm still, and it probably happened maybe 9 years ago, but.
Listen, fashion moments, your fashion moments have no dates. Like if it was magical, if it was transformative, if it just brought you joy, like it doesn't matter. Time is no factor. But I am so excited that I was able to speak to you. I hope that, you, the listeners, enjoyed our conversation. Where can people find you online?
Oh, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on
IG.
So both Somalia Knight, and then I'm also on Facebook, also Somalia Knight, since I'm the only Somalia Knight.
I love it. Are you? By the way, are you excited about this like Fashion Week in-person return? I just have to ask. Like, are you excited about this?
You know what? It's this Fashion Week for some reason has given me more anxiety than the last Fashion Weeks, just because I haven't walked down a runway in 2 years. So
my goodness. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm excited, but I think anxiety is kind of like taking over because I haven't seen casting directors in years. I haven't directed or casting in years. Like I'm worried that, I know that body positivity is key right now, but I'm just like, you
got this. No, you got this. Solange is calling you all the time, and you're getting all these like magazine spreads. You good girl. You about to do this. I'm excited for you. You're gonna be great.
Yeah, I know it. I can kill anybody right now.
I'm gonna see you everywhere. I'm be like, oh, there she goes. Oh, there she goes.
There's Solange.
I can't wait.
There's up here. Oh, but I got a special treat coming for everybody too. Yeah.
You do?
I do. I can't tell you on
I know. Well, we'll be waiting for it.
Yeah.
And if it comes when this airs, I will make sure to include it in the show notes and the IG post for sure. Well, thank you so much. This is the end of our conversation, but I'm just so inspired by you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining me for this week of A Fashion Moment. If you like what you hear, we'd love for you to join our community of listeners and spread the word about the show. We also want to hear from you. Share your favorite fashion moments and dream guests with us by sending an audio clip or email to a fashionmomentpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can tag us on Instagram at a fashion moment, and you could be featured on next week's episode. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review and let us know what you think. Until then, see you next time for another fashion moment. Podcast production by Rebecca Rashid and John Taylor Williams. Digital media production by Megan Porras.
This recording carries a Creative Commons 4.0 international license. Thanks to Patrick Patricios for their song, Hot Coffee.